Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah, and today I want to talk about why I quit aesthetics. By aesthetics, I mean I was doing Botox, fillers, facial procedures, many other things that go along with that for ladies and gentlemen alike. And whilst I have nothing against anybody receiving those type of treatments, I feel that I sort of fell out of love with that process, and I trained for a really long time. I've been doing aesthetics for about 7 years, and I did a whole host of training, and I've been doing a level 7 in that as well, to meet sort of the guidelines of the JCCP in the UK, because they're putting more regulations on Botox and injectables. But, you know, I've always worked ethically, and I've been insured, I've always had a prescriber, I've always, you know, fulfilled my end of the bargain, and I've never had any complaints, nor have I had any, you know, anything go wrong over that period of time, which I'm happy about. But as one of me many avenues that I've taken over the years, courses-wise, I chose to become an aesthetics practitioner, and this was whilst I was having a period of helping a friend out in a salon. So I was still working, but our sort of self-employed business at that time was not taking as much out of me, and because of COVID and things like that had happened, everything just went a little bit flat, and I just wanted to get out a little bit more and do some more things whilst I was working out, you know, what my path were at this time. And we're talking 7 years ago. So I helped a friend out in a salon for a while, and because I did hair when I was in my 20s, and started to add things into the package that I could offer, and eventually rented a room within the salon, and, you know, did quite well. Did lots of lips and facials, and plenty of wrinkle reductions and all those type of things. And for the most part, I was quite pleased with the results. What I noted was that there was a bit of a shift happening, and people were wanting more unrealistic or unachievable results, and everybody wanted it like now. But I've always been very clear when I was practicing that I'm not that girl. Don't come to me expecting me to give you the lips that, you know, look like I've implanted an inner tube or anything like that. I'm going to stick within the parameters of what I deem is suitable for your face, your structure, your build, and, you know, and your observations of yourself. And for the majority of my clients, that worked quite nicely, because that's what they wanted. They still wanted to look natural, they just wanted to look better. But I did have a flux of people coming to me, because I get my prices quite reasonable as well. I'm not all about charging earth for things, but that definitely introduced a different demographic to the business, and I think that demographic weren't a demographic I really wanted to be selling myself to. So then I implemented a different price structure, which sort of pushed aside some of those clients, but I still had this real, like, falling out of love with the process a little bit. I have my regular clients, and I've kept those throughout the years, and, you know, I know they'll be upset when they find out that I'm not going to be doing this anymore. But whilst it's been like quite a large part of the last 7 years, it's not been my passion over the last 7 years. I've not really gone to work and been like, oh, I can't wait to go and, you know, inject somebody's face. It's just not, it's not been that. And I feel like I need to leave that to those people that really do get excited about that, because then they can do justice in a way that I'll never be able to do, because they're in it. They want it, they need it much more than I do. And I feel like there's going to be a common theme in the videos as they go along, and generally it's that I you know, I have a harebrained idea and decide to take a course in it because I'm addicted to courses, and then I practice doing whatever I've done for X amount of time and either fall out of love with it or something new comes along that just piques my interest, and then I need to do that as well. I am trying to stop this behaviour, and this is part of it as well, because for 7 years, yes, I've committed to doing this, but for the last 5 years, I'd say it's literally been because I've paid so much money to do it. So we're into tens of thousands of pounds now of paying for training, paying for insurances, paying for packages that allow them to do these things, and, you know, to do them ethically and correctly. So on that note, I need to stop myself jumping feet first into these new ideas I have. I need to stop YouTube searching these businesses and such and thinking, oh gosh, just look how wonderful it would be to do that as a business. Because if I'm honest, I have never been fussed about wearing makeup, and if I didn't have no eyebrows, then that on my eyes, there'd be nothing on my face. I don't care really about how I look, in a sense. I'm not, maybe I'm explaining that wrong. I care how I look, but not enough to go and change structure of my face. You know, the fact that I'm developing 27 chins is an age-related thing, and you know, I can't really do much about it. So, and if I did want to do something about it, it's going to be a whole procedure, which I'm not really about doing, or at least I'm not right now. I'm not saying I won't change my mind in the future, but right now it's just not my bag. But given the fact that I'm not into hair, makeup and all those type of things, and looking perfect or having that, you know, feeling of looking like I'm really well done, I felt a little bit of a fraud giving those procedures to others. I know in some cases that was not the case, and that people would often say to me that, oh gosh, how do you keep yourself looking so natural? And I used to say, because I don't do anything, and I felt really bad saying that, but you know, it was the truth, and at least I allowed them the truth. If anybody asks, that's what I'd say. But for me, I need to work out my new way forward, and my new way forward I don't think necessarily is in the beauty industry. I need to just let that sleeping dog lie now and move forward with some of the newer ideas that I've got and the other things that I want to do. And the whole, you know, I trained as a teacher. I trained as a teacher for adults and over 16s, and then ended up teaching children through an agency. Who knew this was even a thing? But anyways, but I've taught all sorts. You know, I've had plenty of different roles that have allowed me and expended me this knowledge to be able to teach lots of different things. But the beauty industry is definitely, for me now, I'm done. I think I've done over like 60 courses in the beauty world, and none of it do I want to really revisit. I'm not even following those things anymore online. I don't get interested in like the latest developments like I used to do. I don't know if this is natural. Don't other people feel the way I feel? But you do something for such a long period of time, and you think it's your route, you think it's your path, and then you just realise that I'm just not that bothered about it, and I need to move on, find something else, do something else. I have had two passions throughout the whole of my life that have never gone away, and I've explained in a prior video that, you know, those two passions are what we're on with now, and those two passions I think are what we're going to move forward with, and I'll be much happier with, because it is something that right from being very young I've always either dropped back into or wanted to do. So jewellery being the one that I've always wanted to do but never done. And I think that I've held off for such a long time with that, knowing that it's such an expensive industry to get into, because we're not talking just like beading and such, we're, you know, with silversmithing, making and goldsmithing and such. It is quite an hard industry to get into, and I have paid for a course, another course. But I know that I've wanted to do that for such a long time that that's probably not something that's going to just fritter out over space at the next couple of years or whatever. And then baking. I mean, we've had restaurants, bakeries, cafes, sweet shops, you name it, we've probably had it. We've had wedding shops where we did dessert bars and so many things, cake decorating shops and cake decorating online businesses. And currently we're doing that as an online entity, and we've got a YouTube channel. So YouTube's where we're sort of focusing most of his efforts at the moment, because I feel that YouTube offers itself as a much larger audience. A larger audience that can gain many different things from you, not just the process of what you're doing, but a little bit maybe about you as well. And putting yourself out there, not being affected overly by following certain trends or whatever, and making a bit of your own stamp, if you like. I mean, well, that's my take on it. I could be wrong. So in essence, I'm putting to bed quite a large chunk of my past, and aesthetics is definitely one of them. And I've managed care companies for quite a large period of time as well, and I owned my own care company for a period of time. COVID decided to crush that one. But again, care's been there right from me leaving school. I've always either cared for people, especially my children, for 25 years, or I've worked within care settings, and I've worked my way up. I've worked in hospitals, and so it has been a passion, it has been a love. I'm not saying that I'll never revisit that. I think I'd be lying if I said that will completely put to bed. I know COVID definitely put a nail in a coffin for me there, and one that I don't particularly want to open back up just yet, because that took a lot from us. It took a lot financially from us, it took a lot of our energies and focus. It killed a relationship. It were a lot. So yeah, this video, just to really cut a very long story into a very short sentence, is I want to find my path. I want to find my passion, and I want to move forward knowing where I'm going. This time, for probably the first time, I want to get rid of everything that I'm doing that is just sapping energy from me. Stop it and focus myself into the things that I really want to do. And it's been a discovery process for me, and I feel like I'm at that right level right now where I'm able to discard the old and embrace the new, and move forward with a much sort of clearer way of thinking. And I'm hoping you'll stick around for this journey, because I am willing to document the changes, and I'm willing to document the successes or the failures that come from that as well. And I will also document if this turns out to just be a crock of crap and I go back to doing something that I previously said I'm not going to do. But I'm hoping you find interest in that. I'm hoping that it resonates with somebody, and that there is other people out there that are like me. And if not, well, I think I've got this area cornered all by myself. So thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.